Alright, that's round 6 completed. Now for round 7 through 19, and once you reach round 19, I will meet you back up, but I'm going to let you go for rounds 7 through 19. All you're going to do is simply chain up 1, then you're going to double crochet into that same stitch, and you're just going to work double crochet rounds. A double crochet around in each stitch. So basically you're going to be building the mid part of the body. And if you want to use your stitch marker at this point, just make that first double crochet and stick that stitch marker in there, and you'll know that is round 7. Okay, and then you can count 7 all the way to 19. And then you'll just keep going with your double crochet rounds. And then once you have your 19th row, then I will meet you back up once I get to that point, and then we will start row 20. Okay? So I will see you at row 20. Okay, so I have completed rounds 7 through 19. So what you need to do at that point is to finish off here, and then you're going to have this seam that has built up here. So that is going to be what's going to be classified in this next part as the wrong side. So you want that part facing you while you lay this koozie down and we start the next part, which is going to be the top opening here. So now what you're going to do is, this is where you're going to use your stitch marker. For this part here is you want to start at the seam, and in this next part here you want to start by counting the next stitch, and over to your right you want to start by counting over to the 23rd stitch, which is what I've already got placed. And then you want to put your stitch marker into that 23rd stitch, and then you want to rejoin your yarn. Okay, and you can keep with your same yarn. If you want to make yourself all colorful here with this, that's fine. Change it. It's totally up to you. Rejoin your yarn here with a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain up 2, which the chain 2s here are not going to be a double crochet stitch. Okay, so those are not going to be one of your stitches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be working around the back part here to form the hood part. So we're not going around the front here, we're going to come around the back because we want this seam to be the back part of this koozie. Alright, so now what I want you to do here is, because the stitch, this chain 2 is not a stitch, you're going to now work a double crochet into that same stitch. That's going to be your first stitch. Now for row 20 you're going to be working a double crochet in each of the next 46 stitches. Okay, so that's your first one. Working over this tail, and the tail that you left over here at the seam, you want to work over that as well when you get to it. So you're going to work into the next 46 stitches, and that was your first one. Okay, you're just going to double crochet in the next 46 stitches, and once you get to the 46th stitch you will stop and you will leave the remaining stitches unworked. That will be the opening of the koozie. And once I reach that part, I will rejoin you and we will move on to the next row, which is row 21. So go ahead and do your 46 stitches here, and then I will rejoin you and pick up on the next row. Alright, so now I have gotten over to my 46th stitch. So now what we're going to do, yes George, we are going to go rows 21 through 29. We are going to turn, and we're going to chain up 2, and here's where you're going to put your next stitch marker. because we're going to go rows 21 through 29. And now you remember, you're going to have to put your first double crochet here, because that chain 2 is not counted as a double. So, oh Lord. Anyway, so we're going to go another double crochet row. Yeah, I have to work around him. He is so yarn bombing or photo bombing me. So we're just going to do rows 21 through 29, just like this. So you're just going to work a double crochet row. You're going to join up, chain 2, double crochet in the same row or in the same stitch, and do it all again. Okay, so rows 21 through 29, just go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back up at the end of row 29. Okay, just make sure that you maintain your 46 stitches. And I guess me and George maybe will be back together, or maybe just me, or maybe we'll just hand over the project to George. We'll see. So I will meet you back up. Alright, now we have completed the length of the koozie, and we have cut off enough tail here, which in the pattern it states about a 20-inch tail. So now what we're going to do is take the top part, we're going to take the 2 end pieces here, and we're going to hold them together like this, and then we're going to whip stitch these 2 pieces together. And what that's going to do is that's going to close the top, and that's going to enable us to close this up and form the head piece and put sort of like the hood on. So just stitch this all together, that way it's closed and it's going to be nice and secured. And that's why you needed to have this long tail. So we'll just go all the way to the end. And I will zoom in a little bit for you. There we go. Just matching up your stitches. Just whip stitch this shut. Make sure you go through both loops on both stitches. So when you put your hook or your needle through, you should have 4 loops. Okay. Almost done. Very simple technique. Down to the end here. What you want to do is you don't want to pull your knot or your loop all the way. Once you get your loop like that, you want to take your needle and insert it through that open loop. Pull that as tight as you can get it, and that ties that into a tighter knot for you. Okay, and I'm going to turn this around and I'm just going to thread this through some loops, and that will sort of lose your tail for you. Okay, and just like that, and you pull that back out and then just cut that. Okay, so now I'm going to come back out for you here. Now this is what we have once we have the top. And it looks a little funny now, but we're going to keep working with it, and then we're going to now work on putting our border on here. So now what you're going to do is you're going to reattach your blue or whatever color A you're using So now what you're going to do is where you finished off here, you're just going to join into one of your double crochet ends, and where you do not have defined stitches, which is along this end and this end, you can still see your rows very clearly, like here and here and here. Well, in those gaps, you want to put 2 stitches in each one of the ends of those rows. So go ahead and join that yarn back up, chain up 1, and just go ahead and put in 2 single crochet right here. Okay, so that was your row 1. You can see your rows are pretty well defined here. Alright, so this is your next row here, and you can see at the end of that row, you see you have a big gap there. Put 2 single crochet there. The next one, here's your next row. See the big gap? Put 2 single crochet there. And you're going to do that for both of these sides that do not have defined stitches. But then when you get here, you do have your defined stitches. So you're going to just work this all the way around. You're going to have a total of 60 stitches by the time that you get back around and join up. Okay, so then you're going to fasten off with this color once you get your 60 stitches worked in. So join back up here, and then I'll meet you up there once I'm there. Okay, so now we're going to do our finishing border round 1. So you want to add back your original color, and down here you want to start where your stitches are still your stitches. So you want to basically, you've got 3 sides, so 1, 2, which you're going to have to make your stitches on both of these sides, and then you have this bottom part which your stitches are still defined. So basically you want to even them out to get 60 stitches. You're going to put 20 here, 20 here, and 20 here. So down here you want to just start in this first stitch here at the corner, and start with a slip stitch here, and you want to do a single crochet into that first stitch, and then you're just going to simply count 20. So that was 2, 3, 4, and work over that tail, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And now what you're just going to simply do again is you have your rows here, and what you're going to do here is you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, or not those, not, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. So you're going to start here, being you have 10 rows, you're going to put 2 single crochet at the end of each row, and you're going to do the same here, and then you're just going to join back here at the end. So then I'm going to do the same thing, and I'll meet you up, and you'll finish off this color, and then we'll pick up row 2 for the border. Okay, so I have 20 single crochet here, 20 along this side, and 20 along this side. And basically you skip that center join, and at the end of every double crochet row you put 2 single crochet, as I did say. So make sure you did that along this end and this end. Okay, so now we're going to just join up into that first stitch, and you're going to finish this color off. We'll pull that through, and now what you want to do is we're going to take our next color, which is your second color, color B, and you can join in any color, or I'm sorry, any stitch. So you're just going to basically, if you want to join in the same one, that's fine. Pull through, chain 1, and you'll single crochet into that same stitch. And you're just going to simply single crochet around, and you're just giving it one more touch of a single crochet border. And this is just giving it that second color. Okay? And then we will just join up back at the beginning, and we will weave in our ends, cut those off, and then I will show you how to do the little ears, and we will place those. So you will just single crochet this around into all 60 stitches. Okay, so just go around and join up, fasten off, weave in all of your ends, and then once I come back we will work on the ears. And Alright, so now we need to make our ears. So I have one completed on the koozie already, so I'm going to show you how to make the other. So you want to leave about a 6-inch tail here, and then we're going to do our magic loop. Okay, so once you get that situated, you want to chain up 2, and this is not a stitch, it's not counted as a stitch. And then you want to work 12 double crochet here into your ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And you can pull that closed. Now what you want to do is a chain 2 and then slip stitch into the center ring. Okay, go ahead and pull that closed. Now what you want to do here is we're going to fasten off. Okay, and pull this through. Let that knot up for you. Now you want to take your bordering color, which is my gray, and leave yourself another tail, and just make a simple slip knot for your hook. And now you're just going to add this color to your chain 2 here, to the top of that chain 2 stitch. Pull it through and through. Chain up 2. Okay, working over part of that tail. Now what you're just going to do here, well no, don't work over that tail there. You're going to do a double crochet into the neck, or a half double crochet into the next 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's fine, it will start curling a little bit up on you, that's what you want it to do. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now you want to end this ear with a chain 2, and then you're going to go into that last chain 2 with a slip stitch. Okay, you want to finish off here, leave a little bit of a tail there, and pull that through. Okay, you got quite a few tails to work with there, and that's how we make the ear. And I'm going to take my 2 beginning strands and I'm just going to tie those into a knot to make sure that that center does not come undone on me. Okay, now you can pick whichever center strands you want to work with. It doesn't matter, you're going to tie them both either way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pull my koozie back over, and let me stretch back a little bit. So I already have one ear in place, as I wanted to use that as a guide. Okay, so I've already got that in place, and you don't want to sew the whole thing laying back like this. You just want it flapping in the air. Alright, so now you'll use that one as a guide. So let me see where it's at. So basically, if you want to lay it down like this and figure out where it's at, that's fine. And all of these strands, you will get those situated eventually. Make sure this piece is laying flat and this center mark is straight down the center. That way you know you're getting an even add-on here with your ear. So once you get it even, okay, or as even as you can, just add your hook or your needle here in a couple strands up here to the side, and then go down inside of the hat part and just pull those strands down, and then just thread it back up through the other side. And you see where my needle's going. Just come back up the other side, go back down, and just do that a couple different times in the last two on each side of the ear. Makes no difference because you're just barely attaching that ear just like that. Okay? And then what you're just going to simply do is, once you get that done a couple times, take your hook and then you're just going to start pulling through the rest of these strands here. As you see, you'll start to bring through the rest of them. Okay, like that, and then you'll flip this inside out, and you want to make sure that there are some stitches in between here. That way that when you take your two grays and your two blues or whatever colors and you tie those real tight like that, and you can tie them a couple times, that you're tying them onto some strands or some stitches in there. And then you can see your ears are just like that. And if you find that maybe you didn't attach it enough, you can bring your one of your loops back, one of your strands back in here. And it's a very simple fix. You can bring it back up and then take it right back down. Just like that. Very simple fix. And then just retie it. You know, things like that, they don't have to be very complicated. And then all you do is weave in your strands to a couple now you don't want to do them crisscross. You just want to start weaving these ends, and you've got a couple here to weave in, so just weave them in. And the gray one, or whatever color you're using as your contrast or color, is a little bit difficult to hide because you don't have any color back here to hide it in, but just do what you can. Okay, and then we'll slide this back here, and then you have your finished bear koozie, just like that. And it's a little hard to get it to play upright unless you have an actual baby inside there. Okay, so this is your little bear koozie. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And again, this is for a newborn. This is not for 3 months. So if you wanted to do the 3-month old, you will need to follow the pattern count that is in the parentheses. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Until next video, happy hooking!